Welcome back, everybody. I have John McLaughlin here, a grade 3 Connecticut Wastewater Treatment Plant Operator, among other things. And we're going to do a quick career conversation and interview with him. We're going to talk about how he got into the industry, some tips he has for those trying to break into the industry, and just kind of what his path was along the way. Thank you for joining us today, John.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and so you're in Connecticut, huh?
I am. I'm in the northwest corner of the state.
Okay. And so do you work in Connecticut or do you commute into a different state?
I do. I commute about 50 minutes south to the shoreline.
To the shoreline? Okay. So 50 minutes on the East. I grew up on the East Coast. 50 minutes away on the East Coast is a lot different than 50 minutes away in California. 50 minutes away in California, I interviewed for a job in Rhode Island once, and my normal route when I worked for state parks was a couple hours of driving every day. And the gentleman for the utility I was interviewing for, he said, if we drive 45 minutes anywhere, we're packing a lunch. So I just thought that was really funny. Anyway, okay, so John, how did you get into wastewater treatment? What was your path? What were you doing before all this?
It's funny you ask. I actually fell into this career by accident, like most people do. After I served time in the military, I was working for a bottled water company, and one of my customers was a wastewater treatment plant. And out of all the places I delivered to, the employees there seemed the happiest. They didn't have a boss over their shoulder 24/7. And I wasn't curious at all. One of the managers that used to be there, he's deceased now. He asked if I ever just, thought of working there. And I said, no, I haven't. I asked him, what do you do here? And he told me, and reached in his drawer, threw me a book, a Sacramento book, Operations and Maintenance Volume 1, Volume 5, actually. This was back in 2004, 2005 timeframe.
Oh, the 5th edition.
Yes.
Yeah, you're dating yourself there.
I
They're on the
am.
9th now, aren't they?
They are, which I'm not familiar with.
There's more stuff in it, I guess.
Okay.
I've got opinions about the different editions, but
I know the pictures are better.
Yeah.
So he said, there's a phone number in there. Call him. You got 6 months to complete it. And when you're finished, give me the book back. I said, okay. So I enrolled in the program. My 6 months ran out. I finished about 3 or 4 chapters, had no clue what I was reading. Unless you're working in a plant or ask for a tour, it doesn't make sense to the common folk. So in 2005, they had an opening in collections. I applied. And 3 years later, in 2008, I was hired in collections, not operations. So I spent 12 and a half years in collections.
Wow. 12 and a half years.
Yes.
So you can relate with those guys then and gals that are out there on the jetter trucks and pulling root balls and rag balls out of the
Oh, absolutely. I want to say I've seen it all. I've learned a lot. We did televising, closed caption televising. We have a CSO crew, check the tide gates, the outfalls. We have clam trucks to clean out the catch basins. And we also had 4 or 5 vac trucks running all the time.
It's a big system.
It is a big system. There's 28 people in collections.
Wow. So what kind of flows do you experience in your town?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Flow rates. What do you see there with that kind of crew?
Our plant right now the permit is for 10 MGD. Our daily average is around 6.5, 6.8.
Okay.
We can handle up to 40 MGD.
Okay.
And we go into bypass at 24 MGD.
Okay.
We're a combined system.
Oh, that makes more sense. Okay.
Yes,
That was like, it seemes like a lot of firepower for a 10 MGD, but now that I hear it's combined, that's different.
It is.
Yeah.
There's about 162 miles of sanitary line, not including storm lines.
Mm-hmm.
We did our own digs and everything, point repairs.
Oh, okay. So you're not bringing in contractor assistance. This is all internal.
All internal.
That's
We
great.
bring in contractors for laying new lines, new construction.
Okay, and for the audience out there, if you're curious what a combined system is, there's sanitary sewer, which is just wastewater. There's storm sewer, which is just stormwater. That's more common on the West Coast. On the East Coast, the cities are older, and so it's more it's not unusual to see a combined system, which is both of them, and that is very problematic for wastewater treatment. And we can talk about that at a later time. But if somebody was curious what we're talking about, that's it.
Right. I know there is a lot of federal funding, or there used to be, for separating the sewer lines.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know San Francisco's been talking about trying to do it, and I've seen those utility markings on Market Street where they're doing dig alerts, and you see all the paint. And it's like, oh my God, I would never want to dig that up. Holy cow, it's a minefield. So anyway.
Right. And pipelining is an alternative, a lot cheaper.
Cheaper, yeah. So were you happy in collections? I mean, you did 12 and a half years there. If you were there for so long, what was the move to wastewater treatment? Why did you decide to go get certified?
I was very happy in collections. I loved what I did, being on the road every day, outside in the weather and the elements, knocking down backups, making repairs, going home feeling like I accomplished something.
Mm-hmm.
Age had a little bit to do with it. I was always intimidated by the operator's exam and the books, and especially the math. I was never strong in math in grade school. And I had an operator, a senior plant operator, push me to get my 1. And I commend him for that. I called him and actually thanked him for pushing me to get my grade 1. And you know what? I stuck with it. And then I said I wanted to get my grade 2, and I followed through with my promise to myself. I went and passed my grade 2 exam, and when I passed my grade 2, I said to myself, I can't stop here. Grade 3 actually opened more doors for me.
Mm-hmm.
In Connecticut, at least at my plant, you need to be a grade 3 to become a shift supervisor.
Okay. Or
have anything to do with process. So I was happy in collections at first. I was really happy. I was learning a new skill. I was getting dirty. No pipes, no plant, they say.
Right. Yeah. And so you're a grade 3 shift operator, or you're shift supervisor now?
I'm a shift operator with the hopes of becoming a supervisor one day.
Perfect. Great. And do you hold any other certifications aside from your Connecticut 3?
I do. I have a NEWIA, which is the New England Water Environment Association Collections Grade 4 certification.
Oh, wow. Great.
Yes.
And do you have any aspirations to move on to your grade 4 wastewater?
I do. It's funny you mentioned that. You need to keep fresh in this field with the books and the education and the questions and the math. And I actually started a study group at work every Mondays, off the clock at 3 o'clock. I'm getting some collection guys. I'm getting some operators. It's going well. It's twofold. I'm keeping myself fresh at the same time as teaching them a new skill.
Well, I mean, and I've experienced that doing the YouTube channel, because I'm studying for my California 5, which is like the 4 or 5 are kind of the same thing. The 5's got like 5 more questions on it. It's anyway, they're on the same level, and I wasn't really thinking of doing it, but as I was creating these videos, I was studying in the meantime, and I was like, wait a second, I'm kind of can twofold this thing and study for my 5 and go ahead and just knock that out, and then maybe make some videos on the channel about it. So you're doing the same thing, which is very smart. I think you don't really understand something until you can teach it, and if you're there teaching people, I think it really is really good for your brain. So let's shift gears a little bit. So you're you're a shift operator. You're hoping to be a shift supervisor. You're taking it on yourself to be in this leadership role where you're helping people certify on a local level. What advice are you giving to those who are trying to break in? Those collections people, people who are not even in the utility. Say you had somebody walk into this class, because there's a lot of people that watch my channel, or how do I get in? Somebody walks into your class right off the street. What advice would you give them and how to proceed?
First thing I would say is get the Sacramento book. It's the fastest and easiest way to get your 9 credits to qualify to sit for the exam. However, with that said, that's not all the information. What I like to tell people is go ahead and get volume 2, if that's even still a thing, because volume 2 starts off on chapter 11 with the rest of the information that is testable. I also tell them to be careful where you pull your information. Start at WEF, work your way, Sacramento, WEF. We have Nui Pick in New England. We also have NUIA. There's Water Otters, and there's also Roy CEU. And be very careful what you pull off of YouTube. California information is pretty much similar to Connecticut's information. Connecticut Wastewater Math is a channel that helped me a lot, the formulas. So I really emphasize be careful where you pull your information. Get on these email blasts for upcoming webinar training or in-person training.
Yeah, there's a lot of free training out there, and to your point, one thing I'll always caution people from using is artificial intelligence bots. They are only as good as the internet is, and they pull their search criteria off of Reddit, which Reddit's great. I mean, I've made a lot of connections on Reddit, great people on Reddit. Reddit's also awful because people just say stuff, and it's like, well, it's not really backed up by anything. They'll just say things, and then I'm not digging on Reddit, but it is just a free form conversation. And when these AI bots start searching, they are going to see people talking on Reddit, and they just put a summary together and they put it out there, and it's like, well, that's not right. That's
right,
not right
or wrong, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I just caution people there, and also some of these trainings, and I'm just going to be anecdotal here, 90% of the training that you're going to get in person is great. I was in a training for CEUs for my water certificates a couple months ago. I will not name names or anything, but this is something I experienced. It was all online, and I was just listening to it while I was working, just listening in on the lecture. And we were talking about best available technology for treatment of nitrates, which I've worked in nitrate treatment for drinking water. And the instructor said it was reverse osmosis, which made me perk up because I was under the impression it was ion exchange. And so I just put my little question in the chat and said, hey, did they change something? I'm just curious, what I thought it was ion exchange. And the instructor said, I see somebody is challenging I think he took it the wrong way. I didn't mean it. It's hard over chat. I didn't mean anything by it. Like I was trying to make him feel bad. But he said, I see somebody's, arguing or whatever about this. Look, guys, I'm just shooting from the hip here. And I was like, isn't this a training? You shouldn't be shooting from the hip in a training. This should be correct information. So also be careful for some instructors, because we are all human, after all. And he made a mistake, and he told me that he made a mistake, but on the other hand, it's like, okay, well, he obviously didn't research all this correctly. And so just if you're going through some of these trainings and anything seems a little strange to you, just double check your study material, maybe bookmark that, do some independent research with WEF, Sacramento State, these industry standards, So I just wanted to throw that little story out there to bolster your point.
Can I add something?
Oh, please do. Yes.
Oh, you're going to learn more from study groups than you will those books or any books.
Yeah, like collaborative conversation.
Right. And I call it a study group for a reason. I'm not teaching. It's not a class. I encourage to be fact checked because I want to be correct. I want people who attend to be, to absorb the correct information. Yeah. Also, call around, get some plant tours, especially if a plant recently went through an upgrade. They're more than happy to show off their plant.
Oh, yes, they are. Yes, absolutely.
No, thank you for covering the oxygen uptake rate, because that was on my grade 3 exam. And that's actually how I found your channel.
Oh, because I talked about oxygen uptake in my nitrification, right?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Reduction potential.
And when we were talking about ORP and
yes.
Yeah. I remember you commenting on that video.
Yes. After I took my exam, I went back and commented stating that I did see that on my grade 3 exam. Awesome.
Well, I'm glad to I never know who's watching these things. I never know, sometimes you get comments and they're 99% of the time they're positive and great. Sometimes There's a little out there, but it's really great to meet everybody, and I've been trying to build community. I'm not going out there saying I know everything. Like, I certainly don't. And what I'm hoping is, why I am so interactive in the comments, is I want people to, hey, you missed something, or hey, like, don't forget about this, because like I said, I'm not the industry standard of knowledge with wastewater treatment, not by far. But like, as a great example, I did that video where we deragged a pump, and then I went through centrifugal pumps, positive displacement pumps. And I think I talked about airlift pumps at one point, and I totally, because I don't have them, it was just a complete, right over my head, Venturi pumps. Didn't even talk about it. And somebody jumped in the comments and said, hey, Venturi, and it was, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. And so, and then I went and I did a Venturi video about the Venturi effect, and it got its own 10-minute video.
We learn by our mistakes.
That's right. And so I think for you to be doing all this with the study group is really wise. And the thing is that, I don't see myself as that person. I am doing some instructing on the side, and it's been a great learning experience, but I don't see myself as Professor Sean. I see myself as a guy that just sees a need and wants to fill it, and that's it. And if I can pull people like John McLaughlin in, or a Casey Cottrell, or any of these people in to help me tell the story and help me fill in that puzzle, I think it's synergy. We're better together,
And you don't need to know everything to start a study group. Get a group of operators together after work or during break, and just go over some questions.
Yeah.
Go over left questions. Go over Sacramento questions.
Absolutely. Cool.
Yeah, and I believe I misspoke earlier. It's not the oxygen uptake rate. It's the ORP you covered.
ORP. Yeah, I was like, what? I talked about how when it got too acidic, the oxygen wouldn't uptake, but
yes.
Yeah.
I misspoke.
That's fine. I thought that's what you might have meant. I haven't done oxygen uptake rate yet.
And I have to commend a gentleman named Jeff here in town. He spent 2 full days with me in the lab to pass my grade 3 exam, because the grade 3 exam in Connecticut is lab heavy, and I do not see the inside of a lab.
Gotcha.
Other than small in-house stuff. So.
And that's a profound point you made, because somebody I just talked to, I think I'm actually posting his interview to the channel today, a gentleman named Jamel from Temecula, California. He said that he had a plant right around the corner from his house, and he would study his manual, and when something didn't make sense, he would ask for a tour, and he would go say, hey, and he would ask the operator, what does this mean? And they would show him, and he could put a face to the name. And it was a very savvy move.
Most operators are proud, like myself, of what we do every day for a living.
Absolutely. Very cool. So what do you think separates a good operator from a great one? Now so people have broken in, they've got their job, they've gotten certified. What do you, as a shift operator, say, you look around at your colleagues and your leadership, what would be the dividing line between somebody who is good and great?
I always say never stop learning. And I apply that to everyday life. Mm-hmm. Never stop learning. Don't cut yourself short. Don't underestimate yourself short. Ask questions. Find a mentor. A good operator. Good listening skills. Look, listen, feel. That's what I like to tell people. That's what makes a good operator.
Great.
Just never cut yourself. Never close the door on learning.
And what would you say is the biggest challenge you face as an operator? I talked with Jamel about, leadership in crisis. I told this crazy story about how, you don't have to say anything epic like this, but I was in a gnarly storm, and we had 3 aeration basins and 2 filled up with mud from a landslide. Right. That was a bad day. It doesn't have to be that epic, but talk about what maybe is the biggest challenge you faced in your career up to this point.
As an operator in the plant I'm at now, probably storm events. Yeah. We'll go from an average flow, 6.8, to 25, 28, 35 MGD within a half hour. So at that point, we need to go to a step feed and save our bugs in the aeration tanks. And I also left out, I work at an activated sludge plant.
Very good. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So there's some changes we need to make, bleed pumps, the main pumps, just all hands on deck. Just get ready for the influx of grease, rags. Everything just increases during the rain events.
And do you have conventional activated sludge? Would you be threatened with a washout, or would you have more like an SBR and MBR situation? You're threatened with a spill.
We actually have an MLE process.
MLE, okay.
Modified Ludwig Edinger process.
Yeah.
We do BOD and nitrogen removal.
Nitrogen removal. Okay, and so do you have an anoxic zone, and you've got a clarifier. So your clarifier, if things are too turbulent with this flow, you could have biomass washout into the sound there, right? So
we could. That's why we go to a step feed process for all the aeration tanks versus a plug flow.
Okay, so it's just not smack. It's
correct.
Yeah,
correct.
And you go into bypass at a certain point where you're just screen it, hit it, chlorine, and get it out, right?
At 24 mgd.
Yeah,
we go into bypass.
Got it. Yeah.
And of course, that has to be in Connecticut, reported to the state within 2 hours.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, we have similar rules around here. The Governor's Office of Emergency Services, we got to call them and tell them about our boo-boos.
Sure. And there's other parameters in the plant that have to be at a certain level before we go into bypass, not just the 24 mgd.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, and all that stuff is reportable to the state and fully transparent. Nobody's doing anything crazy out there like pulling levers and letting her rip. It's just
public knowledge. It should be on a state website somewhere.
Yep. How do you think the industry could attract and retain good people? We have a problem out here in California with an operator shortage. It seems like kind of feast or famine. The creme de la creme utilities have lines out the door with people hat in hand, and some of the smaller ones can't hire to save their lives. So what would your advice be to the industry on how we can attract and retain these people we need so much?
I would say educate the public. Public relations, word of mouth, study groups, collaborate with other operators, and network. Yeah. Network. Let people know what you do for a living.
Yeah. Open the doors, let them in, right? Tour, like, community events.
Most people pay their sewer tax or sewer bill, and they flush a toilet, and they don't think beyond that. Not knowing there's a great career within their town that can't be shipped overseas, that needs to be done every day.
Oh, it's amazing you say that. I tell people a lot, this is recession proof. This is outsourcing proof. To an extent, it's an AI proof job. I mean, right. AI has got a long way to go. Automation does affect what we do, and we have to contend with that. But that's everybody. I mean, that's not just us.
It's funny you say that, because even during COVID, it's like we showed up to work every day, every shift. Nothing stopped. Life continued as normal during COVID.
Yep. During COVID, I was like in a position where I was pretty tired when COVID hit. I was like ready for a vacation. And this is very short-sighted of me, but I was like, hey, I might get 2 weeks off. and my boss called me and said, you're not going to like this. You are essential. You're an essential worker. And I was like, of course I am. That makes sense. And so, okay, coming in. But you're absolutely right. And then when things got really dicey, because when COVID happened, I thought, man, this thing's going to blow over in a couple weeks. I didn't realize it was going to drag on for as long as it did. And so as things started getting gnarly and months later, I was making overtime. I was more like, I'm getting overworked here. So anyway, and I'm sure you experienced the same thing.
Yeah, we're first line in public health.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. We're on the supply side of public health, not the demand side, right? We're going to try to prevent the disease.
Correct.
So, any last question I have for you, John? This has been great. Any parting words of wisdom for aspiring operators out there?
I would say, like I said earlier, don't cut yourself short. Ask questions. If you start study groups or start classes, it's not the end of the world. If it's not for you, it's not for you.
Yeah, and I've made that point in one of my other interviews. I never want to talk somebody out of this industry. I'm trying to help people get in, but there might become a point where you look in the mirror and go, I don't like this. And that's okay. That is okay. You can move on to something else. Right.
Yeah. Some people say sit for the exam and see what it's all about. I don't like a video you had posted a few weeks ago. I don't think that's the correct way. Prepare for the test first.
Yes.
Get all the correct information. Be careful with your resources.
Yeah, absolutely. And this has been great, John. Thank you so much. And thanks for reaching out over the comment section of YouTube. That's how
Yes.
we really know each other. And do you have anything you'd like to add before we cut out of here?
No, but thank you for what you do. Thank you for being interactive with your channel.
Yeah,
And if there's anything I could do to help, let me know. And if
absolutely.
anyone watching wants to get a hold of me, they could get a hold of me through LinkedIn.
Yeah,
It would be John, John, parentheses, Johnny Mac, parentheses, McLaughlin, McLaughlin. Feel
very
free to
good.
shoot me any questions. I'll help you along the way.
And I'll put the link to his LinkedIn profile in the description of the show notes so that they can just go right to you. I think we are connected on LinkedIn, aren't we? Do we?
We are, yes.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Yes.
Perfect. John, this has been great. Thank you so much. If you ever want to be back on the show or maybe we can talk to some of your operators if they want to do it, please let me know.
Thank you very much for what you do.
Absolutely. Likewise. Of course, it's people like you and me. Not, I mean, I'm not a video thing, but you're the one on the doing it every day as well. So thank you, John.
Great. Thanks, Sean.
Yep.